Arizona.
Good morning.
Or,
it's
6:55
Central Time on the Southern Central Plains. Time to kick off another trading day. Hypothetical simulated performance results have certain limitations unlike an actual performance record. Simulated results do not represent actual trading. Also, since the trades have not been executed, the results may be overcompensated for the impact of any certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. Simulated trading programs in general are also subject to the fact that design with the benefit of hindsight. No representations being made that any capital is likely to achieve profit or losses similar to those shown.
Everyone's hopeful that a young guy, strong
we
guy,
come into today on treasuries and we have a 10-year auction. That's fairly easy to call.
Eagles, it was this year.
We rallied up off the 3-year.
Someone's going to be willing to give
sets up the 10-year.
A legitimate asset.
We expect to find a seller in the 10-year. For it to at least come down and test support.
They can hold on to folds and maybe something develops later in the summer. Or
we don't have major news. The news overnight was pretty limited. Japan's LEI was down, Germany's industrial production was down, Italy's retail sales were down. Looks like Merkel may have formed her second government, keeping it intact. I mean, she's going to keep going until she gets one, and the Germans seem to be fine with that. Probably the biggest news today may come from Dudley and his comments about the stock market and what the Fed might do to support it. So when we come and take a look at the market, you can see 121.03, 120.30.
It's never too early to look ahead. I know Patriots fans already want to look ahead to Super Bowl 53, which will be played in Atlanta.
So we're going to have
and
pretty
they
good
are the odds-on favorites to win it. Not surprisingly,
at the
they are just about every year.
So we're going to put our first buy at
9-2, and then you have the Eagles at 6-1. But how can you put the Eagles on top when the Super Bowl MVP is probably going to be coming off the bench? Well, who's starting for them, right? I mean, who's going to be starting quarterback for them? This is all about Tom Brady. If he's coming back, it's still the Patriots. I still feel like he has enough in him where he can take this team back to the Super Bowl. And again, they still, with Belichick and Brady together, they can do it. That's the biggest question to me. Are those
11 to 12 early in the
Come on, don't play that
narrative.
Carson Wentz is the starting quarterback. Foles is still in the contract for another year until they would trade him and do something with him. But as far as the Patriots go, look, they're going to have to replace a defensive coordinator, an offensive coordinator. How's that going to go? Who's going to be the guys to come in? And can they replicate what Matt Patricia and Josh McDaniels were able to do for a number of years?
High volume numbers.
They've been through coordinators before, though. As long as Brady's there, they can just cycle guys in.
121.20. News today.
Teddy's a pitmaster. When it comes to playing with fire, nobody does it better.
3 million yesterday.
He's also a volunteer firefighter. But when it comes to mortgages, he's less confident. Fortunately for Teddy, there's Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans.
The major focus today is going to be
so he can understand the details and get approved in as few as 8 minutes. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans.
All right, these are your confidence builders brought to you by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chip Patterson, our college basketball writer, joins us now. Chip, Louisville, SMU, Nebraska, all on the bubble. What are all of their chances of making it to the tournament?
Well, let's start with Louisville. Losers of 3 straight after dropping 1 to Syracuse. Not very encouraging.
Got a couple really good tapes
but I think that they end up making the NCAA tournament. That just is going to be a Louisville team that I think that a lot of fans will pick against because of the form that they are going to have heading into the NCAA tournament. It's possible because of all that size and athleticism that they could flip a switch. But Louisville's a team that I think makes the tournament, but probably won't be spending very much time in the tournament. SMU has really hurt itself with 2 bad losses in its last 4 games, and I think that that's going to be an American Athletic Conference that is not going to provide a lot of opportunities for quality wins, particularly as Wichita State continues its slide down. The big one to circle, though, is that SMU is going to have an opportunity to get that quality win with Cincinnati coming to play at home. And then finally, Nebraska, that's another team that is going to suffer from a conference that just hasn't really been able to bring it, and I think that the lack of quality wins that are available in the Big Ten are going to also leave Nebraska on the outside looking in. So I think Louisville makes it, doesn't stay very long, and I think Nebraska and SMU fans are unfortunately going to be disappointed on Selection Sunday.
28 to the buck, number 1. 3 to 7, sell 1. And 11 to 50.
Get ready to cut loose. Ramp it up. and go down in vacation history.
A lot of portfolios.
I think it is a possibility. I'd probably say there's a 10% chance that he hangs it up. And I don't think it has to do with as much as the concussion that he had in the NFC Championship game, although I do think that does play a part in it. I think it's the entirety. If you did one of those things where you put up the skeleton of the body and circled every injury that he's had in major injury, I think that would be enough to alarm anybody. And if you watch him run routes, it's pretty amazing how unstoppable he is, considering how he lumbers around out there, and it looks like it hurts him to play the game. So who knows where he'll be next year, but I think he will make a mature decision, which is kind of, you wouldn't expect
really
that.
3 weeks for the market to settle down.
The Super Bowl, there's no way he's going to retire. Now, here's the reason why you can make a case why he could contemplate. He's got a future after football. The WWE is beckoning for a guy like this to all of a sudden come be a part of that show. So he's going to have other opportunities. I think that's the biggest thing. Look, this is a healthy exercise. For anyone who's played the game before, you've got to have life after football. So for him to now, at this point in his career, contemplate that, that's okay. Now, him being public about those statements, it's kind of interesting, even though he kind of does well out there.
We have enough selling to bust 2022, bust 25. We'll put the first buy 24, 26. The idea will have a trading range 19 to 21. Buy 2. Let's see if it stops beneath that low. On the sell side, very, very aggressive, 29 to 31, so 33, 35, 17. Yeah, Dudley might be the biggest source of news today, Charles. And they'll be asking
I think there's been some flaws that is shown on the defensive end, and that's obviously not a good loss. Coach K really reamed his team after the game, and I think this Duke team has more talent than anybody in the country. I think that's pretty clear when you have a guy in Marvin Bagley inside. But I think what happened against St. John's, too, is
when you go back and look at big breaks in the market, the break in 87 was 25%. It's still a long season.
There's a long way to go. We just started in February. They have a lot of talent. But I do think this year is interesting because there's so much parity. There's not a dominant team. And really outside of Villanova, every team has at least, maybe Purdue, has a bad loss. So Duke's not alone in that.
As the press would have you believe. And the press is trying to paint as ugly a picture as they can to have something to hang on the current administration. The way the game is played these days.
I think he'll be back. He's been very clear about the effort to make it to 45. I think he wants to do that. If you watch Tom versus time, that's his legacy. I don't even think he thinks of himself as the greatest quarterback of all time. I think he wants to be the guy who played the game the longest time. And talk about life after football. It's going to be the TB12 method. It's diet, it's nutrition. That's what he's focused on. So I think he wants to. He's the biggest advertisement for what he wants to do is continue playing.
Tom versus time. And anyone who's watched that series that he put out, I think you understand this guy is the most extreme competitor you're going to find in basically any sport. And I can't imagine he's going to want to retire or move on with this taste in his mouth, given how close he was to his 6th Super Bowl. And for Bill Belichick, I think he's coming back as well. The tough part, we talked about it.
February, you don't expect him to be giving that speech in May, do you, Charles?
Then they had guys to step into those positions. I don't know that they have anyone who is going to be as ready as what Josh McDaniels was or Matt Patricia when they stepped in, or when they had to replace the likes of Eric Mangini,
Montreal,
Bill O'Brien, all the other guys down the list. I don't know that they have those candidates right now in-house.
I think the best thing that happened, kind of, it's a bittersweet feeling, but the fact that they lost, I think, is the reason why you will see Belichick and Brady back together, is they don't want to go out as losers. They want to go out on top. They don't want to go out like that.
Middle of summer, they don't go to Death Valley to have their big conferences. They go to Jackson Hole. These people are not dummies. And the best thing is they get somebody else to pay for it.
Washington crossing the Delaware Turnpike? Surprising. We've all got places to go! What's not surprising? How much money Sean saved by switching to Geico.
Okay, crude oil. Sellers at 64, as we surmised last night. And come down, we're below 63. 62.75, 63 by 1. 62 1/4. 250 by 2. We expect a 30 to 40 tick range before the news hits, so 25 to 50, sell 1, 75 to the buck, sell 2. So we're looking for 30 to 40 ticks before the news hits. The APIs drew 1.1, gasoline drew 220,000 barrels, diesel fuel, Jet A1, heating oil, built 4.6 million barrels. Cushing drew 600,000. So this is what we'll face until the news hits. We'll do a newsday trade on crude when the news hits, and we'll see if we can't make a few shekels. That's good for 10 to 20 ticks. Then the market settles down. We can come back and market. And the Emini. All eyes will be on the Emini and the Dow today. I doubt if he's getting up in the middle of night to give a speech in Hawaii. What's the point in going to sleep, right? He could do that. He could stay up all night. Or the time looks... or the address, one of them's wrong. Okay, go back and look at the F1 screen, kind of get a bigger picture here, bigger take. And I've got this on nickel increments. So right now, it looks like we've rejected prices below 2,600, and we're looking for resistance. We almost made it to 2,700 yesterday. So probably the first really, really clean break in the market is in this 2710 area, if we can get through 2,700. Then we've got the 2,735 area, so it's 2705. Obviously, you got to get through 90 to get there on this scaling, which is 5 points, so there's rounding errors. So right now we got resistance at 2,700. And that's the easiest trade to see. If we come up early in the morning and 2,700 is rejected, we should get short. We might even see a 2,600 before the selling is over. The potential volatility. If we come in and we do the splits, get the data arranged correctly, this is what it looks like right now. So the first sell I had was 89 to 94. And this is on 2-point increments. Against me, you better be willing to give up your life. Then 99.
If he slips or doesn't look the same way coming out of the gate in 2017, what are we talking about?
You see on a half-hour basis that this 10 to 13 area, 10 plus or minus is pretty important. And then we had the Globex low basically at 35. So.
Howie Roseman,
2710, 2717, 2727.
And entertain anything. And he gave up a ton to move up not once but twice.
Charts right here is where
to get Carson Wentz. So asset redevelopment, asset
London's low
reallocation
is 61.
If somebody's willing to give him a day 2 pick for Nick Foles, second or third round pick, then I believe he'll strongly entertain that. And someone may. I mean, whether that's Arizona or, you know, maybe Jacksonville. I mean, there's going to be some teams who I think are looking to do, frankly, a little better than Nick Foles. There's going to be some teams who would rather, like Buffalo, just draft somebody. But depending how that shakes out,
and your numbers are as good as mine. You know, the setups, this is the day that V-tops and volatility, V-tops and V-bottoms work great.
He can afford to have Wentz and Foles, no problem.
Like your
and Carson Wentz, despite what you might hear
and that's the problem with the trend day. You go from working and shoot, I can't be more than 3 points off the low or off the high like that, and I'm going to put it on a trade.
Everyone's hopeful that a young guy, strong guy will be back on time.
Are you nuts? Well, that volatility that creates the 15 points in the bar is what's driving your trade.
Someone's going to have to make a football trade for him.
And it's very, very uncomfortable for day traders and people that work the grind.
they're comfortable with where Wentz is, then they'll make the trade. And if they're not, then they can hold on to Foles, and maybe something develops later in the summer or even in season.
Long, I'm short, and we'll see what happens. And that's the attitude that they take getting into it. So you trade less size for bigger moves. It's going to take a bit to get everything up and posted. I am going to get that done right now.
They're going to compete against me, but